things first, what are your initial thoughts of this incoming class?
A bunch of young cougs that want to be in Pullman, want to be part of it. That's the main thing I've learned, not only about the time in Hawaii, but you can't trick kids into making a decision to come to a place. They have to feel it, they have to want to be part of it, and I think that helps the genuine honesty in the recruiting process, to be honest.
Was there any type of person or even position specifically that you were going after?
Interior D linemen and defensive backs, because the receivers were kind of the best available guys we felt. We wanted to make sure we got some big bodies for the middle and some young defensive backs that can be contributors. Alphonse was the first one came after just because of where he was in his recruiting process, his skill set. It kind of set up almost like it was meant to be. And he really wanted to be there, and he wanted to be part of it. He wanted to spearhead. He wants to be part of the movement. And I think it's more than just a scholarship to a university for him. I think it's deeper.
Can you talk about the conversation you had with Alphonse and just kind of bringing him to Washington State?
I can't remember. We talked about a lot of things. It was just really comfortable with him and his family. I thought they had good questions. Obviously, they wanted to see it. The family wanted to see the staff and who he would be surrounded by. But I think you could just tell it was something that he was really intrigued by. I think he enjoyed his time when he had come and visited before. I think it was really a place that he could see himself be successful.
Did it feel like from the time that you were hired to this second signing period, did it feel like it went by really fast, or did it feel like it was enough time for you to talk to who you wanted to get?
Well, I thought either way, it was what it was. I think the real positive thing, it was such a late coaching hire, was the early signing date alleviates a lot of that pressure. So you got to combine recruiting with getting the staff the way you want it, and once you get 10 guys on the road, you can mix up getting the guys we're trying to sign, also getting them into the houses of the guys we already signed, getting them introduced, and kind of starting that. And even though they're signed, there's still a building of trust that needs to be done with them and their families. And you don't have time to get into everybody's house as the head coach, but hopefully I can get to know everybody as the spring continues.
On a personal level, what has the transition been like for you, getting hired and then kind of hitting the ground running with the recruiting process?
The transition's been very enjoyable because of the people in the department have really been first class. Not first class like champagne and diamonds, first class like helping, wanting a complete, wanting to be there for the football program and myself when it was just me. There was a lot of help from a bunch of the ADs, the support staff, equipment, trainers, and it's been, and that makes it, you feel like you got people that all want to go in one direction, and that I think was the biggest help.
How hectic did you kind of feel like this whole period was, coming a little late into the mix, so close to February, and then having to get all these guys on board?
Well, I think anytime you take it's the second head coaching job I've taken, and it's a feeling that you can't explain. I know people talk about the fire hose, and people talk about, this just overabundance of responsibilities you need to attack. You don't get much sleep, but I enjoyed it. Not that it was easy, but I enjoyed it because it reminded me of when I first took the Hawaii job, and I had many more doubts at that point. Am I good enough to do this, blah, blah, but I had the same feeling. I know I'd gone through it before, and it came out the back end feeling like we were successful. And so I kind of had that at the end of the stick when I had that feeling this time. And like I said, the support staff, Pat Chun, and just the guidance once I got off the plane, it was very helpful.
I think you guys retained all but one of the guys that signed in December. What were the conversations with those guys like, and what kind of questions were they asking you about that direction?
Delora was a little bit easier because we were so familiar with each other. There were, this isn't an easy thing to go through as a kid. I mean, let alone the guys on the team already who are already here. But you talk about kids who just made the biggest decision they've ever made with a group of, let's say, a dozen men that they had committed to the university. And you could say, commit to the university, but the relationships that are built in recruiting definitely have a part in these kids' decisions. So you have to be sensitive to that. You have to show them, respect. You have to, whatever their feelings are, whether they're great joy or great hesitation now, because you don't know what a young man's gone through, not only in the recruiting process but in his life. And then the ability to build trust is the first, I think, first thing on the agenda, and be honest with them and talk to them. And like I said, they varied from. With Jaden, it was really positive, and then there's somewhere, well, I can't believe this happened, and then it's like, okay, those feelings, whatever the feeling was, it was fine, it was your feeling, but just taking them through it, taking them through what you're about, what the staff's going to be about, how you're going to coach them, or sometimes more importantly, their son. There's a lot of parents that are invested in this too.
Were you able to set the rates in the state of Washington as maybe you hoped for? And is that something maybe you try to improve on?
I think we planted a seed. I don't know if the roots are down yet. We just, it takes a while for stuff to grow. We're here a couple of weeks already, but I think it was a big step. I think it was, and it's not just. This is the case at any school. The recruiting locally or in state or in the region is incredibly important to every program. So it's not unique to Washington. The residents of Washington, it's exciting. I can understand that. But I have a hard time. I understand why Fonts is such an exciting deal because of how talented he is and the flip from another Pac-12 team. But I hope the fans and the residents love all the players that come. I hope they represent the university in a positive way.
Coach, along those lines, you did a great job of recruiting Hawaii and American Samoa when you were there. You got a couple of late defensive linemen from Pago Pago, American Samoa. Is that a pipeline you'd like to see increase? That's something Washington State's really done a great job with over the years. Is that something you see increasing to WSU?
I can see it being a consistent effort on our part. Washington State has had a lot of success with players from Samoa. Me personally have had a real high, and I'm not saying that I did it, I just have really positive results of the young men that have come out of American Samoa, played at, whether it's at the junior college level, whether it's at Hawaii. I think there's a consistent appreciation of the opportunity they get to better their family and better their life and their opportunity. And I just think they're very grateful and work hard, and there's consistent toughness, a love for football, I think, that translates not only to most college football teams, but to the mindset in Pullman.
Do you think Delora will have a chance to start for the start?
Every quarterback will have a chance to start. We're going to play the best one. I mean, I tell them all that. It's not. But of course, if Jaden's the best one, he's going to play.
Where do you feel like, just with the new coaching staff, the new coaching hires that you've made, and these new guys that you're bringing in, where do you feel like your identity is at right now, and how would you kind of define your team?
We still don't know a lot. I enjoying the work. There's not a lot of prodding going on with this current team. I think they know how to work. I think they respect each other. I was impressed the first day I saw them in the weight room. It wasn't people trying to get out of the weight room, people trying to get out of reps. There's a culture of work that was already instilled in the team. So that's something to wipe off the list to do. Now, improve it, encourage leadership and ups and downs and things like that is probably the next step for us. But I have a great appreciation for the way these kids, one, dealt with the coaching change, and were able to put that aside and continue to work for each other, at least in the weight room. That's what I see.
Have you guys established an off-season conditioning program yet? I know that they used to have midnight maneuvers here, and that was kind of the staple of the off-season. Have you guys talked about that?
I talked to Coach Leach about his midnight maneuvers. I don't know the details of them. But yeah, our strength coach, Dwayne Bradshaw, we have I think a very functional off-season program already set up. And I don't know, like I said, what the midnight maneuvers consisted of, but I think there's always a time where you can push these guys and see if they can pop off that lobster shell and grow a bigger one, things like that.
When did you start wearing hats, and is the bucket hat, where did
I
that
don't know.
kind of come from?
Okay, so I remember my dad had a 40th birthday party. It was a surprise birthday party. I got to go to the first part of it, and I think I got the story right. And no gifts, you can only bring a hat. And I think that's when I started getting, everyone brought cool hats, and fencing mats, and fire helmets. And, I always I remember that. And then now it's kind of, I gotta wear the hat. And I got bad hair, so.
Part of you.
Yeah.
How many hats do you own? An estimate?
Dozen? This is my number one though.
Do you have any good recruiting stories from an in-home visit, or maybe like a great meal you had, or anything kind of unique that you experienced over the last month or so?
Not that necessarily comes to mind. Had some good lumpia.
Over in Samoa?
No, that was in the Bay Area. It's good. Yeah. Excellent, actually. Well, I mean, Chris was there. It was nice.
Thanks, Coach.